Hello, fourth grade. Today we're going to start on chapter 13, which is fractions and decimals. Lesson 13-1 is equivalent fractions. Rename tenths as hundredths. Okay, first we're going to start with a model. Okay, and here I have shaded in on this model 2 tenths because I have 2 sections out of 10 colored in. So that is 2 tenths. Now I shaded in the same amount on the second model. These are equivalent fractions, only now it's 20 sections shaded in out of 100. So 20 out of 100. So 2 tenths is equivalent to 20 100ths. Because remember, I can take a fraction and multiply numerator and denominator by the same number to get an equivalent fraction, 20 100ths. Okay, so let's look at this again. Let's shade in, well, let's suppose I shade in 4 tenths. That's 4 tenths there. And if I shade the same amount on this model, there will be 40 sections shaded in, 40 out of 100. So 4 tenths is equivalent, if I multiply by 10, numerator and denominator by 10 is 40 100ths. Those are equivalent fractions. Okay. I can also use a number line to show equivalence. So here I have a number line. It's the same size number line. On the top I have tenths, and on the bottom I show 100ths. So 1 tenth is equivalent to 10 100ths. 2 tenths is equivalent to 20 100ths. 3 tenths to 30 100ths. And so on. You can see the equivalent fractions. Remember, you multiply numerator and denominator by 10 to get the equivalent fraction. Or, remember also, I can divide numerator and denominator. So if I have 60 100ths, and I want to know how many tenths that is, I have to divide my numerator and denominator by 10. So that would be 6 tenths. So remember, I can multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same number to get an equivalent fraction. All right, so let's look in your book on page, actually 200. Page 200. So here you have to write the fraction shown by the model. Then write the equivalent fraction in tenths or hundredths. All right, so I can see that I have 10, 20, 30 boxes shaded in out of 100. So number 1, that would be 30 100ths. And now I have to write the equivalent fraction in tenths. So we need to think 30 hundredths equals how many tenths? Let's look back on our model. If I shade in 30 100ths, that's 10, 20, 30. 30 100ths on the model. Okay, if I shade in the same amount on my model with tenths, I shade in 3 columns. So 3 out of 10. So 30 100ths equals 3 tenths. Remember, I can do that by dividing my numerator and denominator by 10. Okay, so you have to have 2 answers on 1, 2, and 3. You have to have tenths and hundredths. Okay, and then on 4 and 5, you're using the number line. Okay, the top is just like this number line, has tenths, and the bottom has hundredths. These are equivalent fractions, though. So this says, write 2 fractions represented by the point on the number line. So we can count over. We can see that's 0 tenths, 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths. Just like on this number line. 5 tenths, which is equivalent to 50 100ths. You have to write both numbers there, 5 tenths and 50 100ths. All right, so you just have to do page 200, numbers 1 through 9.